It is Wednesday, April 12th, 4:47 a.m. I'm gonna try to record a video really quick and then go to sleep and sleep some more before I have to go to work. I just had a dream. It's pretty weird. I'm gonna try to make it as coherent as I can. I can't tell if it was like from the point of view of myself or outside of myself, but the main character, protagonist person didn't look like me. He looked like, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a show called Wizards on Netflix, and the main like kind of pathetic white dude character from that, he's played by that guy in the dream, which was like perfect. So it starts out with, the beginning is kind of fuzzy to me, but it starts out with like this old, creepy, mad scientist type of dude character. And I think that it starts out with like flashbacks to him, because basically the main character is uncovering this mystery involving like really creepy, horrific, like torture experiments done on children. And it involves like capsules of this weird, like gaseous substance that are in these like weird, like old-timey glass containers and like hidden in different places, and he like starts discovering them. But like the main one that I remember that he discovers is this one that's like this big, and it's hidden inside of the body of a child, which is terrifying. And I think he discovers it because the kid dies or something. But anyway, eventually, somehow I think he like inhales the substance or something and starts doing all this crazy like weird shit to him, and he kind of becomes a superhero like in a gradual process. So like the first thing that happens to him is, I think the first thing that happens to him is he kind of becomes a vampire, although it's not exactly clear to what degree. It's really weird. Like I think that the way that he's a vampire is, in my head, was like sort of like the Adventure Time mythology of a vampire, which has to do with like eating color. And in Adventure Time, it's like Marceline eats red, and that's why she's a vampire. But I feel like in the dream, it was like all colors or something. And this comes up later. So anyway, some kind of weird vampire. And then I think the next thing that happens to him is that he gets levitation powers, so basically like he can fly. And then the last thing that happens to him is he becomes invisible. And actually I specifically remember being in his body at this point. So because I remember realizing what happened, and then like going and laying down in a bed and someone touching like the bed, and like me like moving a little bit trying to make sure that they like didn't feel me so that I could stay hidden, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like that's not how it would work, because you would see the body form like in the bed, but whatever. So yeah, he gets invisibility, and then somehow, like I don't remember how this makes sense or how this happened, but he also gets like a flying invisible tiny house, which I guess is something also part of the plan and like left for him or something. Like it's like this weird little shack that almost looks like a trailer. It's like the size of a trailer, and it's meant to just be like this efficient thing that you can live in and travel to wherever you want, but it's like a little rectangle brick house thing with on little like metal like stumps that it rests on, and it kind of, I think it's kind of alive. Like I think it had a little face, and it kept reminding me of the castle from House Moving Castle, because when it would fly, it would like scrunch up its face and like scrunch up its whole body and then go like and like fly off really fast, and then it would land anywhere you want, and then you could live there easily. And so that's what he did, because I think in the dream I was hiding from a huge bunch of bad guys, and so like when I found out that I had become invisible, I was like, oh my god, yes, this is like what I've been waiting for. Now I can like finally do this and I don't have to like keep running my entire life. So it was a really good feeling. And I actually remember in the dream like being aware of the fact that I was in a story, and being aware of the fact that I was like, that other people were seeing my story or reading my story or something, and that my story was supposedly Harry Potter influenced. I'm probably getting this from Wizards, because the guy, so I said that the guy who was the main character is from a show called Wizards. No wait, not Wizards, Magicians. I'm getting it wrong because I'm tired. That show was described to me when it was introduced to me as having a lot of Harry Potter influence, and I remember thinking that in the dream, like, oh, this story is very Harry Potter influence, because I had like the invisibility thing. Okay, anyway, I'm getting really sidetracked. Last part of the dream is so I've used my weird little house to travel to a sort of strange, desolate, like kind of like Midwest looking like part of the country. And I'm gonna go like knock on the door and like visit a friend of mine who lives there, I think. And I'm like, I have this great idea. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's not gonna be able to see me. I can do whatever I want. Like I don't have to wear my pants. So I walk over like wearing nothing but like a t-shirt, and I don't have pants on, and I don't have like underwear on or anything. And I think like I have a weird mess all over my body, like weird like dirt rubbed on me for some reason. Anyway, and I'm like, I don't care how I look. Let's try out these powers. So I like ring the doorbell, and my friend comes, and she looks me up and down, and can obviously see me, and I'm like horrified. and I'm like, oh my god, like you can see me? What's going on? And she's like, oh yeah, I have this power. I can see invisible people. And I'm like, shit. But then I just accept it. And she's like, oh, and by the way, like my house is also, we're doing like, there's like a market going on here for like color vampires. So you can come in and like mingle with all of these other like weird vampire people and then pick out like colors that you want to buy and eat, I guess. So I go in, and there's like all of these weird displays of like blocks of color like on the wall with like different people behind them. Like there's little people with little booths like selling them. And there's one, and I go up to one, and it's really confusing in that dream way where it's like, I guess it was that, but it was also like people are doing it in different ways. Like the one that I walk up to is this woman who's applying like sets of makeup to your face, and she keeps like insisting that I have to have makeup because I'm not like, there's no way that I'm like a real man if I'm not like super made up. And she has like all of these different sets that are called different things, and she's trying to convince me to buy one of them, and I think that's where I woke up. Okay, first dream, done.